Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. Wait, whoop, whoop, whoop. You get fairy dust, I get fairy dust, Amelie gets fairy dust. You have enough room? There you go. You going up there? Okay, go ahead. All right. I have a question for Ask an Advanced Bitch. This is a subject where I can't get many actually informed responses because most parents can't get past their inherent pushback of a thing they don't understand is bad when social media is mentioned. But do you have any experience or knowledge of abusive in any forms, household demonizing and utilizing fear of social media as another form of control? Because despite the horror stories, social media is a huge contributor to fundamentally learning things we haven't been told before. Things like the way that you're being treated isn't normal, or that some people are LGBTQ, or that they share the same fears and traumas as you, or the joys and hobbies. Is there someone else out there to help, and that scares the shit out of them, of the people that, it scares the shit out of the people who are trying to control them. Okay, really great question, great. The interesting thing, or just a thing to know, is that if somebody is, this is why I study dynamics, because if somebody is a controlling person, then that control will spill out into everything they do. There's a saying that I've been thinking about lately, for my own personal growth work, is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so a person that's controlling is going to control. That's just what they're gonna do. And then lo and behold, oh, you wanna go to that party? Okay, well, let me bring up some bad shit about that party or parties. Or you want to, you're gonna go shopping at Kroger and, somebody thinks you should be going to another store or whatever. And it's just it doesn't matter. Or if you're on social media, then they will attack that. So they're going to attack and try to manipulate and control whatever you do. And social media and anything online, dating apps, any kind of apps that people use for whatever reason. It's low-hanging fruit to an older person to just say, that's bad. Look at you on your phone, all that shit. So it's kind of like, if somebody was to tell me, this is a controlling person, I just see a picture and there's a controlling person, a person on their phone. One of the things I would just immediately say, Rorschach's test, is and I was told there's a upsetting scenario going on, I would say, oh, he's mad about him being on the phone. It's just gonna be there. And social media is demonized. I really am enjoying Gary Vee. I just think he's so interesting. He's so different. He is psychologically really on the nose, and he's really, he really gets it. But he's saying, he's really good about pushing back on people who look down on social media or the internet or whatever. He's if your kids, if you're mad at your kid for playing video games, you're mad at your kid for being on a phone, you're watching TV. You know what I mean? That person is gonna watch TV. So we all have our ways that we spend our downtime, or the person's always have their head in a book. Escape. But we just take different forms, and it's kind of, I don't know why I thought of this, but it just, what popped in my mind was a senior in high school has to, shit on the freshman. And so, it's just kind of the older generation not saying, just not being interested, looking down on, shaming about being online. Everything you said about being online is exactly right. I mean, it has been a key for a lock inside of a lot of us, that it's just oh, other people, oh, you know, and so yeah, but one of the things I wanted to mention was I did a speech about this once about there's a linguistic person, expert. She's a linguist. Sorry, you know, I gotta try to get my grammar right. And I read one of her books when my children were in high school or whatever, and it was, I think it was actually the Mother's Daughters book or whatever. So it's just interesting the way mothers and daughters talk to each other. Fascinating. But while I was reading that book, there was a sentence about, or a little part about the younger generation using different forms of communication than the parent. And so and what she comes away with, excuse me, what she comes away with, or what she taught me, was that it's actually the parent's responsibility to adopt the communication style of the younger generation. If we want to connect with them, if we want to be closer to them, if we want to engage with them, if the, parents, parents have done this the whole time. Like when they're babies, when they're toddlers, we don't talk to them like, we're not like, oh, you got such a dumb toy car. Or you know what I mean? That's a stupid Barbie. But, so it's never changed. And if we were, just to read the Gettysburg Address to a toddler, they would not know what the fuck we were talking about. So same thing. So it just continues until the rest of our lives. So if we want to be connected to our kids, that we stretch ourselves, do uncomfortable shit to engage where they are. I got on Snapchat, never fucking learned how to use it, because my daughter-in-law was posting snaps of my grandson, and I was like, oh my God, like, because I didn't want to miss that. So that's on me to do it. So you just have to, and so what other parents might say was, that's fine, you do Snapchat or whatever, but also text me the pictures or email me the pictures or whatever. It's just like, no, you go to the extra length, not them, you go. And anyway, so social media is absolutely demonized. I was one of the demonizers. Like when I got, when Facebook first came out, I'm just like, people are just being fake on there. Like, why isn't anybody talking to, talking about the hard shit that goes on in their life? Everything's like rosy and shiny and pretty, and also had some growing to do, but I eventually got brave enough to be here, and I think the person that helping me is putting my videos on Facebook, so it's really like a full circle thing. But I'm the one talking about how hard everything is now. So, but it was up to me, if I just stayed in my, stayed on my computer and just wrote blogs, I would never be, getting to engage, getting to connect, getting to, reach as many people as I'm reaching at this point, which thank you so much. I'm so happy you're here. So yeah, like if people cut off their learning of new technology, they're actually isolating themselves. So I hope that's helpful. I'm not 100% sure that I fully answered your question. Oh, yes, I did. I said, yes, a controller's going to control. Doesn't matter where they're going to control. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Love you. Thank you for asking. Bye.